abuse, both physical abuse and verbal abuse. On top of child neglect, as this guy who drinks and can't control his temper, drinks and gets violent, drinks and doesn't know his strength. And because of that, there have been incidents that have happened that if she had paid attention to all the signs from his past before she got with him, she would have known better, but she thought he changed. And then she found out later that once they were married, that he didn't change. So the golf course incident and the bruises, I'm sure that they are adding this in her legal team because they're showing that they're trying to make the picture that he's reckless when he's drunk. So in the paperwork, it says that this was from a golf course incident, that she didn't know that he was overly drunk until the incident happened, and that she was bruised or whatever, and that he did, reach out to take ownership for the fact that it was his fault, like the crash or whatever was his fault. And those are the text messages that we see. And they also mentioned another time where he crashed into the side of the house, but nobody was injured. But again, they're trying to just paint this like picture of Jeezy as this reckless person. So then they talk about an incident on January 18, 2022. So this is the incident in Miami where they talk about in a car and arguing. Jeezy asked the driver to step out of the car. When the driver stepped out of the car, Jeezy hit Jeannie Mai with a closed fist, causing some sort of hemorrhage. And he called her a whore and told her that he couldn't wait to divorce her. And then following this, they contacted their pastor and their therapist to try and work through it. Then they said that there was an incident in April 2022. This is in San Francisco at the hotel. This is where she alleged that like he choked her from behind and pushed her down the stairs. And he was yelling like, I could do so much better than you. And apparently there is a incident report in this matter as well. Things get real hot and heated for the snowman. This incident at the hotel in April 2022. There is an incident report from the hotel that is included as evidence in the filing that Jeannie Mai's team filed. This incident report is from hotel security. Hotel security is basically recounting what happened. Podcast. So hotel security says that they were called to the hotel bar by a server. The server stated when they arrived that Jeezy had pushed Jeannie Mai down some steps. Jeannie Mai and Jeezy were arguing in the bar. Hotel security or the hotel people basically said to them like, look, y'all loud, y'all doing too much. Y'all got to take this to private quarters. Y'all got to take this to your room. Before they said that, they actually tried to intervene and just basically tell like them like, yo, like, Mr. Jenkins, can y'all separate? And he said, yo, give me 5 minutes to talk to my wife. So they're talking, they get loud, people in the bar looking, it's just like a scene. So they're like, y'all got to take this somewhere else. So they agreed to get up and take it somewhere else. But Jeannie Mai says to the hotel staff, the hotel security, can you stay with us? Because I do not feel safe with him by myself.
So right there, that's with Jeezy. That's where you effed up. Is it? I'm not gonna lie to you. The way she's painting that story and the way it sounds, it sounds like it's gonna be rough for Jeezy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Listen to that one definitely. If you hindsight in, people gotta cut it off like, oh yeah, she got in the golf cart incident.
Of course,
blah, blah, blah. But the way she just broke it down,
and that's why I wanted to play it because I listened to the John. I'm like, damn, of course it was a little bit longer, but I know sometimes.
But my only question is, when you say you knew about this prior, because even with you, when you told me, I think he had kids before her. Mm-hmm. So, but we never heard no prior incidents. So were they actually reported or is just...
No. When I'm saying that she knew who Jeezy was already, I'm talking about just having guns. Like, I mean,
but I'm talking about the lady that was reporting on it. Do he have prior incidents before that? But I'm saying, like, just even with like, all right, him and his baby mother, they didn't get along. They got into it. Like, did he have any of that?
No.
I don't. Because like I said, I didn't even know he had other kids.
No, I don't think it never been nothing like this into his. But he ain't never been. I don't think he ever been in no other real long-term relationships neither. So I don't necessarily know. Like, sometimes your behaviors don't come out. And think about it, they got into a relationship super fast. They was dating for a couple years. Like, I don't even think they was married for like 2 years. They wasn't even dating that long. You talking about? I think they got together during the pandemic. So yeah. So you talking about? All right, that was still only like 4 years ago. You talking about that was 2020? They married for 2 years. So like that was like super fast. So it sounded like they might have been dating for like like a year, then you got married for 2. So it's still, all of that is still extremely fast. And I don't even want to just place the blame on her, but I think it's just even for Jeezy. And I think where it's going to be a harder blow for him to kind of recover from this is because the way he betrays himself now, like when he's doing the interviews and it's like super therapy, man, and it's I'm this, that, and the third, or even him taking the high road with versus Gucci, is like the way he's trying to betray his image and the way he's trying to become off. It seems like that's how you portraying yourself to the public, but still in home, you may be still fighting a lot of them demons, and a lot of those demons you are fighting them behind a liquor bottle. Because all of these stories, it seems like she's telling, it sounds like when Jeezy gets intoxicated, he gets very aggressive. He get very loud. He started to sit here. And like I said, if this is your first time ever listening, I'm a diehard Jeezy fan. Jeezy is arguably in my, you see me, I'm saying who's my favorite rapper of all times. It's my 1A, 1B between him and Wayne. So it's kind of still, but I can still call and hear when it sounds like I don't see him be able to shake this public. Like, of course, let's be clear. Will a lot of black women turn the other cheek because this is not happening to a black woman? Absolutely. Because do a lot of black women just love Jeezy? It don't matter necessarily, so they won't care. So they won't have no compassion for this woman because she's not a black woman, which is sad because she's still a woman. But for a lot of like the business people or the other people that kind of Jeezy, like especially when you're talking about like the book publishing people and all the other people that Jeezy has been trying to get in bed with and kind of separate himself from not having to rely on putting out music, I don't know how those people will be responding to it. Because the same way it's just like she's still popular in her space as well, and she is more already open and welcome in those book writing spaces, in those corporate America interviews. That's not the Breakfast Club, where it's like the Good Morning Americas, and it's all of those type of like super mainstream corporate talk show spaces. She's already a darling in that space. So it is kind of like those people not gonna brush it under the rug. The same way when we talking about TMZ kind of not letting up on Diddy, when the Breakfast Club or Joe Budden or whoever else in the black spaces is kind of like, all right, we covered it when it was super hot and we kind of letting go. With TMZ, like, shit, nigga, we ain't letting this go. None of y'all really don't want to run with the ball. Give me this. I'm running for a 90-yard touchdown. So it's a little bit different. So I do feel like for Jeezy, it's like, yeah, the black women still may go and support you, but where you were trying to take your career, I don't necessarily know if that door is still going to be open for you. Like, you're going to have to figure out how to get back into the booth and get the rapping. Like I said, I do like the core audience to who Jeezy is. I think they'll still support him because they won't care because, like I said, again, this didn't happen to a black woman. But a lot of that, like, she kind of got you red-handed when it comes to the fucking golf cart shit. Like, you copped to that and you apologized and you took to it, but it was still, hey, you was drunk. You crashed the golf cart. And both of y'all was in it. So you trying to show your picture because you felt like you showing a picture of your foot. I don't know if you felt like that was kind of showing you some bail. It don't matter because, yeah, you apologized for it and you took, all right, you admitted to it, but it's still like, nigga, it don't wipe you no clean of what she accusing you of. I don't know. I don't necessarily know how Jeezy gonna shake this one, if I'm being honest. Like, I just feel like that's a tough road that he gonna kind of have to.
And you don't need it right now.
I ain't gonna say you don't need it right now. I just don't necessarily know how do you climb up the hill that you trying to go up to, and you realistically ain't. I don't know, dog.
But that's why I say you don't need it right now. If you still trying to climb a hill to get up to you, like sometimes, like you always say, it's depending on your fan base. If you already got a strong core fan base who don't care about,
for if you was just if you were just putting out rap music, for sure,
going.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout outs to Beyonce, and Blue Ivy. It looks like they will be starring in the new Lion King. I want to say, is this called Mufasa?
Yeah,
I think it's coming out is it next year? I think it's 2025. I believe. I think I've seen it. Shout out to Beyonce. That's tight. Her and Blue Ivy gonna be doing.
I'm confused of who, because wasn't Beyonce in the first one, right? The first Lion King. She was I thought she was like Nyla or something, right? That
maybe, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
I didn't see it. Yeah, I ain't see it. I don't got kids, so I definitely skipped out on that one. But I do want to play this other clip real quick.
Saw this girl do a social experiment the other day on TikTok, and it was the best use of TikTok I'd seen in 2 years. She asked a bunch of black women, do you think men want a natural body or BBL? And every last one of them said BBL, BBL, BBL. She interviewed like 20 women. Then she went and interviewed 20 black men and asked them, be honest, BBL or natural body? You know what they all said?
Natural body.
You're damn right we did. But now y'all like this. No, some white man in a boardroom told you we like that, and y'all ran with it because you don't seem to realize that the majority of plastic surgeons do not look like me, but look more like Andy Cohen. Or we not ready to have that conversation? That's fine.
We can definitely have it.
So until such time as you realize that you are the product that is running those engines. That's problem number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he smoked that. I don't even have no real conversation behind it besides he just made a great point, because it is like sometimes where you constantly see stuff on social media, it kind of brainwash you to make you think that, hey, this is what people like. And then he absolutely right. Like if I can brainwash you to think something is fire and we get to reap the benefit of it, like he said, like ain't no plastic, like you don't know no black plastic surgeons. If all the if all the plastic surgeons you go to are white people and they own the social media platforms that we see it on, they control the algorithms, it kind of makes sense. Like it do seem like, of course, if you feel like, oh, that's somebody putting on a tinfoil hat. But no, if you actually just doing the real math and kind of paying attention to what he said, he kind of laid it out there for you to kind of like, this ain't a stretch, this not a reach, this is just the real spill. And you can take it for what you want, but it like, what you gonna say? How can you say it's a lie? Because you don't realistically, you don't know it. And it's kind of like, all right, you got tricked, you got duped. And I think we do kind of get that a lot because, I mean, of course, people put so much stock into social media, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, that kind of just even because we talking about putting stock into social media. I do want to play this. I'm gonna play this clip of Ocho and again, why I said the nightcap is this show. Y'all be talking about club shit. Y'all missing it.
Because I ain't dating you unless you got kids. You got to have one, maybe two, because for one, everybody eats for one. But I just like women that have kids. And somebody asked me on Instagram, why they got to have kids? Because women with kids have structure. They have discipline because they have kids, and women that don't have kids, they never have snacks in the pantry. I like to get up 3-4 in the morning and get a Capri Sun and steal some of the kids' snacks. And women that don't have kids don't never have no food, Unc. And you know what they always want to do?
Go out and eat.
With no kids, always want to go out to eat and give looks like it's a goddamn fashion show. This ain't no my fashion show. I'm hungry. 3 in the morning. Capri Sun. Do you know what Capri Sun tastes like at 3 in the morning after a session?
Nah, hopefully I'm sleeping at 3 a.m.
No, you ain't hear me.
Amen.
Oh, after a session.
Do you know?
Yes,
after man.
Amen.
Yeah, Ojo, you know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you something. I ain't trying to be funny. Please tell me you had a honey bun in the microwave. Warm it up for 12 seconds.
You can tell the difference between Ocho and Shannon Sharp. Ocho is live for real.
Zebra cake.
Oh, I love them zebra cakes. Yeah, I have zebra cakes. I don't like to eat after one of them sessions. I just want something cool. Cause my heart beat real fast.
Yeah, okay. I understand. Well, for me, I purposely first time, and I can tell you a story because we family. I can tell you, I was dating a woman. She was about, I was probably 27 at the time, and she had kids. She was about 53. She was 53. I was 27, 20. Yeah, she was about 53. No, I stayed the night and whatever. And it was time to go. She woke me up 3 in the morning and say, baby, you got to go. You can't stay here. I said, what you mean? I say, you came here and you did your business and what you need to do. Now I'm gonna give you a snack and a Capri Sun, but you got to go. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, yeah. I did the walk of shame with food. At least she kicked me out with food. Now I felt bad, but at least she sent me home with something to eat and something on my stomach. Now, a single woman, no food, no nothing. I'm just talking about my experiences. They want to go.
Of course, again, kind of even tied in it.
Shout out to Ocho.
No, shout out to Ocho for being a real one. Reason why and you got to just kind of two things you have to be from a certain demographic. When we talking about even when we was just talking about the Jeezy situation, you talking about cultural experiences and just life experience. Let's screw the dating part real quick. When he talk about that honey bun and you would put it in the microwave for 15 seconds, you ain't really from the hood, and I feel like you ain't really even played on the borderline of realistically. Of course, if you older, you damn near playing on the borderline with diabetes with the microwave honey buns. But nigga, they are so clutch.
Texas,
my god. Oh, the Texas. Oh my god. So that's my point. And then even when he said, "Okay, you ain't never had the honey buns, you had to have a zebra cake." And if you from the hood, you done had zebra cakes because in it don't matter how expensive or how cheap the grocery store is. Guess what they got? They got zebra cakes. You could probably even go to I don't want to recommend going to the dollar store, but you probably go in the dollar store and get you some zebra cakes. If you go to the dollar store and get them zebra cakes, I hope you ain't trying to stretch them and let them last long. You get anything from the dollar store, I feel like you got to kind of run through them in like a week process because they're in the dollar store for a reason. But again, like I said, shout outs to Ocho for that. But again, when we talking about the reason why I said the Dr. Umar part, and even talking about when we talking about Gilbert and them earlier, a lot of women you're gonna pick on the messenger because it may not fit the narrative that you want. And that's what Dr. Umar was saying basically with the Kevin Samuels compared to the Housewives or the Love and Hip Hop stuff, because it's like realistically, you sit here and try to pick him apart. Oh, Ocho don't know what he's talking about, this, that, and the third, how he know, and this. No, he's a man. He's dated women before, and that's why he said from his experience, and which he probably should have said instead of, because I did see a young lady in the comments say the only thing he missed out on, he should have said most women with kids, because I'm sure we all realistically right now, you could probably on the top of your head know maybe 3 to 5 women that you know they got endless kids and still don't got no type of structure to them, and that's probably realistically no shade why they got multiple baby fathers. Because you didn't learn off the one, John. Your experiences kind of still left you just real reckless with the coochie. So you don't have no structure. So, but still, if we talk about percentage wise, I will agree with him. If we sit here and say 80% of women with kids have a lot of structure to their life, because you got to wake your kids up at a certain time. Even when he's saying the lady kicked him out, because they know, like, hey, my kid get up at this time, you got to be out of here before this, because I don't feel like explaining it.
Shout out to that.
Or I'm gonna lock the door and you can't leave out the house until after me and the kid gone for school. Because it go like that too. Sometimes they may let you stay, but you gotta stay in this room. Yeah, you can't come out this room. So I mean, that didn't happen to me. I didn't live both of those experiences multiple times. So I do kind of agree with him. And then he absolutely right. The women who don't have kids, they are always constantly trying, especially right now. Shout out to everybody who did get to go out on Monday and enjoy the nice weather. Because I did see a lot of people, especially even in the New York area. I think this was their first 80-degree day all year. I think, of course, in the DMV, we had a couple of them, but this was the highest. I think it almost got up to like 90 somewhere. Yeah, so again, I'm sure most of y'all, if you out here dating a woman,
can I ask you what's the wildest thing you told her? Like, she had told you, like, you gotta.
What you mean?
I mean, just saying, like, when you saying dealing with that type of woman, what's the wildest thing she probably told you? Like, you can't.
I don't necessarily know if it's wild. I think it's just you just can't, like, after a certain time, like, you guys just stay in this room. You can't be moving around. Until me and my kids leave to go to, like. You can leave out after we leave from school. It's 2 things that gotta happen. You either gotta wake up earlier and leave out before they go to school, or you gotta wait until we leave out to go to school to leave out. So I don't think it's nothing wild. Like, hey, you gotta hide into a closet or something crazy. Like, no, ain't nothing like that. But just that little situation. Like, that's why I agree with him. I do agree with what he's saying, and they do absolutely right. They always gonna have snacks in there because somebody they gotta eat.
Houston is relieved after the person police had killed the 25-year-old is now behind bars.
I fell to the ground. I could not believe that this happened. You know, that they were able to apprehend the shooter so quick.
Video posted to social media shows women fighting before a gunshot is heard. The family says, as difficult as it is to lose their loved one, seeing no one helped after the shooting adds to their pain.
All that time that they out there fighting, not one person.
The New Orleans Police Department arrested 32-year-old Neandra Woolridge in connection to the shooting, charging her with second-degree murder.
But you continue to pull that trigger and know that a bullet was going to come out after it was jammed 2 times, so you knew at that point what you intended to do.
The family says the 25-year-old was an unexpected twin and born premature, calling her their special baby that grew up to help those around her.
She's full of love, full of life. She loved unconditional, and she loved her sisters.
As the family remembers the woman they say had so much life to live,
We should have been able to talk this out and be able to find a better solution to their disagreement.
They are now pleading with people to put the guns down and stop the violence.
You know, she has 6 beautiful children who she loved dearly, held close to her heart, and it's so unfortunate that, my grandchildren will have to, go through life without her.
Jonah Gilmore, WDSU News. Brittany.
You're so crazy, because of course I sent this story to a homegirl of mine, and she was just like, dog, how do people even have time? You got 6 kids. How do you got time to meet up with somebody from a social media argument to even fight? And that kind of go back to original conversation we was having earlier when we were just like, of course it's sad, of course, and rest in peace to this young lady, but we just talking about just sometimes how you raise and the decisions and stuff you make, where it's like, how do you have time? You got 6 kids. How do you have time to sit here and be even thinking about linking up with somebody from an argument on social media, like from an argument that y'all was having on back and forth, I'm sure in the comment section on something, or somebody spilling some tea that you wasn't supposed to spill, and y'all got out in the street and had a real live brawl. And then it end up you sitting here like, and it was that deep there. I don't know who was winning because they don't show the clips of all that, but then it end up to you getting killed and you had 6 kids. This is something that started over a social media argument, dog. And that's my point of when we sit here talking about the way people make decisions, the way people are raised, the way people are engaging with life every day. Dog, like, that's crazy. Like, you didn't think about your kids. Screw if you never got shot, but you went to the 8, you got 6 kids, dog. How old are you that you got 6 kids and you still worrying about sitting here fighting somebody off a social media conversation? How you even got time to portray and all of that stuff? And that's my point of sometimes when we talking about when people are raising their kids or how people so quick to sit here. How do you got time, though? You tell me you got 6 kids. And again, I'm not trying to just be rude or not have no feelings or no emotions to this young lady losing her life. But I do think sometimes we have to take these situations and have the real conversation about just being a fucking adult, dog. I can't even imagine having 6 kids and still even trying to be on social media, let alone having whole arguments with people.
Oh,
6 kids is a lot of kids.
No, 6 kids is a lot. But my only thing is not knowing what the stipulation of what they was actually fighting over. Because what if it might have been one of the kids, you know what I'm saying something and then the mother retweet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been stemming from it could have stemmed from the kid. So that might be a reason why you addressed it. You're absolutely right. If you got that many kids, why are you still even entertaining this situation? I mean, shit like that. You should, sometimes you just got to turn the other cheek. But even what you saying, like, she got 6 kids, so you got to think about it. Somebody got to be old enough. So she probably, you don't have to watch all them, or it's a fucked up responsibility you putting on them.
That's, I don't, like I said,
how old did they say she was? Like 30?
No, I don't even know how old they said. I don't know. Maybe I missed that part, but I just because I was kind of disgusted with the having the 6 kids and you still got time to be arguing with people on social media. And that's when we talk about just prioritizing your time and how to just go about your day-to-day shit. Because I seen a conversation where it was a dude, and of course people kind of like just brushed it off and really wasn't paying them no attention because it was a gay dude. I think it was the dude from this show with I can't remember whatever his name. I think his name's like Funky Diva or something. He was talking about how you shouldn't talk to people, take nobody serious who play video games. And people was dragging them. It was women dragging them, men dragging them, and a lot of people was like, nigga, I make 6 figures and I still just, nigga, got to work. I want to play the game. So fuck what you talking about. So they kind of dragged them to hell. But I do think sometimes it's just like what people do with their free time, and people be so judgy. Where I get listen to trust and believe I am a person where I do like I don't play video games that often, but when you do, it's a mental thing. It is a mental thing, and it kind of allow you to put yourself in a different place. But to see somebody like, oh, you got 6 kids and you still literally got time to link up with somebody to fight is crazy to me. Like, some shit just don't make sense. And we just talk about how you spend your time, and you are a parent, or like that. Just to me, it just speaks on just bad parents and bad decision making as an adult. Like I said, again, rest in peace to that young lady. But I do want people to just think about sometimes on like, how do we use our spare time, or how much time, not even if it's not spare time, because I don't necessarily know that you could have just made time for this shit. This shit didn't even necessarily have to be a spare time or free moments you had. You could have literally just went out your way to make time for this week. Like you said, you could have been giving your kids a tablet, or one of the other older kids could have been watching the younger kids. I don't necessarily know how it escalated, but I'm just not a fan of that type of behavior, especially when you got that many responsibilities. So that's a lot of kids. Exactly.
People, and we're not even caring about their family. And people are saying, I don't need to know the family. I ain't marrying the family. But you marrying a pattern. Do you even know where your spouse's family come from? Did you ask your husband, how did his daddy treat his mom? I ain't even thinking. No, your husband said that his daddy was never romantic to his mom. He can't remember a time he saw his daddy give his mother any flowers. He did not talk to her. He was not intimate with her, and he just went to work. So when you tell me all you see your husband doing is going to work, that's the pattern of training he had. He's not trying to be unloving towards you. He doesn't even know this mythical man you have in your head that you're trying to make him be. He doesn't even know. He wasn't raised by that man. And you taking all this stuff personal. And you saying this man is unloving. He don't even know what you judging him by or measuring him by. Did you take a look? You better go to that family reunion.
And the reason why I just wanted to play that, on top of the conversation we were just having, it's just, again, it's just like how important people are raised in matter, dog. Because you just got to think about like those little situations, those 2 things to me go hand in hand. Because if you got somebody who just like, if you got people who are in families and their families move like that. Like, let's just sit here and say if this girl was like somebody's cousin or sister, and like, damn, this how your family giving it up. Like, this girl more worried about going outside to fight off of something on social media than being in the house with her 6 kids. That's crazy, because I'm sure, to me, I could be sounding super judgmental, but I don't feel like that type of family oriented, or that if that's the dynamic on how somebody in your family giving it up, I don't feel like this is a one-off. There's no way to just, it's only one cousin that's like this and everybody else is too far apart. Because if you, like she said, most of the time, especially if you, I mean, we all been to family functions, of course, like I may be a little bit more standoffish than everybody else, but it don't follow too far from the tree. If you look at how people in their families communicate, or the way they clicks, and they're like, okay, if this cousins and these cousins be together, or these brothers and these brothers are closer, I feel like it tie close together. So it do, like, you kind of got to pay attention to certain things. You may not want to, because you may feel like it's not that deep, but if it's not that deep now, it's gonna be that deep later. Because imagine if you was the baby father to 2 out of 6 of those kids. Now, if you would have paid attention and picked up some of this behavior early, now you got to be a father to 2 kids that you probably wasn't even really being a real dad to in the first place. But now this your full responsibility, because your baby mom's no longer here.
And so, speaking on about knowing your family or anything like that, not last night I saw this. It was a Tubi movie, and it was about pretty much the same, like you said, not knowing who your family is or even knowing where you came from, and the situation with. And I wonder what you would do in this situation. Your fiance, right? She's adopted. She's been with a white family, whatever the case may be. She finds out, her adoption. So I guess she at the age where she can, get the information, all that. So she get the information. She finds her father. Father like, oh, I ain't know nothing about you. I didn't, I remember your mother been pregnant. I don't know about. It's like, well, where my mother at? Whole time, guess who her mother is?
Who?
Her fiance's mother.
Damn.
And so when they found out, the whole time, the mother ended up killing the father. And so when she found out, he was pretty much dying, and he was like, you don't know who she really is. Something like that. And so now, and the mother gave her a hard time, I guess, from Jump Street. So it's just like not knowing who your family is and not knowing their family is kind of scary. Like, in a situation like that, what can you do as a fiance, or just even as her?
I mean, ain't too much you can do, but realistically, it sounds like all you can do is call. Oh, damn. I was like, all you can do is call off the marriage, but I mean,
nah, and she was pregnant.
Yeah, I don't know what you do after that, because that just sounds like basically you having a kid by your brother or your half brother. Yeah, that's a rough one. Like I said, all I would do is tell people to be careful, pay attention, take your time. And of course, it's the summertime. A lot of these conversations I know we have, and we'll go over people here, because it's summertime. You're gonna get drunk, the bottom of the samosas. Y'all gonna be running the brunch. You're gonna do yourself. You're gonna do you. You're gonna enjoy yourself. But just trust and believe. You can even pay attention to what you got going on in front of you, or take your time with however you are moving and dating right now. Or life will slow you down, and you will have to pay attention to it and deal with it later on if you don't deal with it right now. So like I said, I mean, you can take what I'm saying, take it for some advice, or you can just be like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna still do me. I'm gonna be out here shaking cheeks all summer long. And shout out to Glorilla. Glorilla's 2-year anniversary to FNF. It was today while we were recording. This is the 2-year anniversary of that. So I do want to give her flowers for that. Yeah. Shout out to Glow.